Hey guys, so today we're taking a look at AWS S3 bucket with Django Rest Framework. I know this is a little bit off topic from what I usually do, but I've been struggling on this problem for maybe about 2 to 3 days, and I finally found a YouTube video that explains my problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and share the solution really quickly with you. Say you have everything set up, um, and it just simply isn't working with you. There's a chance that your Django version is more than 4.2. And if that's the case, then the storage setting has changed. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Before, we used to have the access key, secret key, storage bucket name. Those are still standard. However, we used to do two constants, the default file and also static file storages. That has changed, and we're no longer using that one. The real solution here is to make a storages constant with default and static files. So that's the quick solution if you want to give it a try. If you still want to stay here, I can teach you how to, or probably even teach myself later on in the future, how to tie the S3 bucket from the policies to Django Rest Framework. Really quickly, I forgot to mention this, but if you want to check your Django version, you can check that within the shell. So if you already downloaded Django, so pip install Django, you can go ahead and manage a py shell, right? So after you get the shell, you're going to import Django. And with that, you can do Django.version, and you can see your version here. Mine is, in this case, 5.1.1. And that's how you check your Django version. Now, you're going to go ahead and go to your AWS console. And here, the first thing we're going to do is create an IAM user. So you're going to go to the search bar, type in IAM. On the left side, you're going to see users. And you're going to create a new user, right? Afterwards, you give it a name. It could be any name. And instead of creating a group with an attached policy like I did before, if you know how to do this, you can just attach the policy. But in our case, we're just going to attach the policy directly. And we're going to go ahead and give this one full access. So S3 full access, just like this one. And you're going to click next. We don't really need to worry about anything else. Now, this is really important. We're going to go to our username, scroll, I think it's in security. Yeah. So you go to security credentials, scroll a little bit down until you see access keys. You're going to go ahead and create an access key for local code, right? And here's a confirmation. And give it any description. This is just the name of my project. Create this access key. You're going to be given two keys here, access and secret access key, right? These are two really important things that you need to keep in mind. So I'm going to open up a notepad and copy these two keys. And you can go ahead and click done. Now, before we go to the actual code, we need to make the bucket. So head on to your search bar, S3, go over to S3 and click on create bucket on the right side. We're going to give it a name. It has to be unique. So I think this could work. As for the ACL, you can keep this as the recommended, but block public access is one of the biggest things. You need to unblock it. And the reason why we need to unblock is because our Django application is going to look at all the assets in this bucket. So you're going to need to unblock all the public access for us to read it. Now you're going to acknowledge here. The rest can stay the same. Go ahead and click create bucket. And I actually think no uppercase. Okay. So lowercase. And we have our bucket name. This is going to be another important thing. So go ahead and copy that down to your notepad along with the access key and secret access key. And here is where we're gonna go to permissions, right? This is super, super important. One of the biggest things that I've missed during my time of figuring this whole thing out. We're gonna go ahead and look at bucket policy. I'm gonna click on edit. And you're gonna remember this bucket ARN, right? So copy this, go over to policy generator, right? And for the type, just choose S3 bucket. Effect has to be allow. Principal is essentially everything. So we denote that with the wildcard. Actions, you're gonna look for something called get object. So only one action needed. Here is where the ARN comes in place. You're gonna you're gonna paste it in, and you're gonna do a / wildcard, which is the asterisk, and that means any URL just containing this. We're gonna add statement and generate your policy. Now we have our policy here. You're just gonna copy and go back to your bucket policy. We're going to go to the box here and paste it. Save changes. Now that we have our policy in check, what this is doing is that we're giving access to everybody to read our storage. Now, in our code, we're gonna go to the terminal. You're gonna pip install, what was that? Django storages and Bodo 3. So you can see some of the requirements already satisfy, and we got both of them right here, Django storages and Bodo 3. Now head over to your settings. You're gonna scroll all the way up to the installed apps. You're gonna make sure storages is part of it. Don't worry about anything else. Just make sure storages is here. So you have three major things: the access key, the secret key, and the storage bucket name. The access key is the first one that you saw. So mine would be the this one. For your secret key is the one to the right, and it should be like the longer string. The bucket name is the name that you gave your bucket. So mine was JobBuddy123. And the region name is, I mean, you could put it there, but it does work without it. As for the other things, these other two parts, file overwrite is really, I mean, it is really important, because if you have duplicate names, it will automatically attach random strings to it, so it can make it unique. Custom domain is also another important thing as well. One other thing is the media and static URLs. They're not too important, so you don't have to worry about that. What you do have to worry about, however, is this storages constant. You need to make sure that we have two parts. This is for the media files, so your key here would be default. As for your other ones, your static files, it's going to have a key of static files, and you can see that the values are basically the same, right? So storage is backend, S3, Bodo 3, etc. I think it might actually be better if I showed you guys one without the implementation of storages and then one with. So I'm just going to comment this out really quickly and take a look at my models, which should be in here. Just take a look at my job images. We have a image field that uploads to this directory. And since we don't have the storages here, it's gonna upload locally, and I'll show you that with Postman. If we take a look at the form data that I set up, these are just 2 required fields for my model. So I'm just gonna go ahead and post it. I forgot to run my server. So let's go ahead and post to this API endpoint. As you can see on the left side, we have job images, and this is the file that we posted. We can also even take a look at what this is over here. Now let's go ahead and put back the storages. So right over here, this basically tells our application to use our S3 bucket as opposed to your local job image folder. And let's give this a post. There we go. You can see the link has changed. It's no longer localhost. If we go ahead and take a look at this link, you can also see that we have access to this link. And this is mainly because of that bucket policy. If you were to remove it, it would give you an access denied message. Now, if you're working with the REST framework UI, you're probably gonna get something that looks like this. It doesn't look like the normal UI, and that's because of the static files. So what you need to do is you need to upload your static files here, right? And that's already configured because of this one statement right here. All you need to do is, let me go ahead and end the development server. All you need to do is run py manage.py collect static, and you're gonna hit yes. This should take a while, mainly because it's uploading to the bucket. So eventually you're gonna see a couple things here, all of your static files. Let me put this aside. So I guess I'm just gonna wait until, I'm just gonna fast forward the video. Oh, never mind. So you're gonna see 163, depending on your static files, of course it might change. And if you refresh your bucket over here, you're gonna see 2 major things, admin and REST framework. REST framework is the one that actually showcases your UI. So this was our UI before. We're gonna hit reload, and now it should use your S3 bucket to display all the static files. Yeah, forgot to run my server. Oh, that's collect static. There we go. Let's run our server here and try again. And now you have your pretty UI.